What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the new album from their band Irkallian Oracle, entitled Apollyon. This is released on Nuclear War Now Productions. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Gothenburg, Sweden, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very mythological, dissonant, and unorthodox hybrid of both black metal and death metal. Yeah. My first introduction to this band was their 2013 debut full-length entitled Grave Ecstasis. Many people had considered this to be a demo, but the band insisted that this was their debut full-length. It came out around 2012, but got made available to a wider audience via CD and LP through Nuclear War Now. And once I heard that album, and once I got to know what this band was about, I was completely mesmerized. I was in love with it the minute I first heard it. I mean, this is a band that took the styles of black and death metal and created something very complex and very original. From a visual, aesthetical, lyrical standpoint, and even a musical standpoint, Grave Ecstasis was just something brilliant. And this was an album that got many, many rotations on my CD player and my record player over the course of the last several years. Not only was this album monstrous, it turns out this band happens to handle their business quite well on a live front. Because this is one of those bands that relies on having a shroud of secrecy. We don't know who's involved, we don't know who plays what, we don't know the whole idea of what Irkallian Oracle is or how things get done. Supposedly there's 6 members, but who knows? It could be 1 person, it could be 6 people, it could be 2 people. It's very strange and weird. But yeah, going back to the way things are handled live, they have shrouds, they have unique sort of presentations with their style. I know the vocalist has like a tambourine for certain songs, which is quite interesting, but they brought greatness live. And once word got out there was going to be a brand new album from Irkallian Oracle, I was on the edge of my seat. I was super excited to know what was going to be the next logical step for a band like this. How are they going to build on what was such a brilliant release such as Grave Ecstasis? And now here we are with their second full-length entitled Apollyon. It's 6 tracks, and it clocks in at around 57 minutes in length, and you can tell by the minute this album starts that they are diving into deeper, darker territories, more so than they ever did on Grave Ecstasis. But upon listening to this album multiple times, not only did this album exceed and go past whatever expectations I had originally, this is an album that I seriously feel is giving my current album of the year, Le Dernier Crépuscule by Cathilist, a serious run for its money. This album feels not just like a black death metal record, it feels like a journey, it feels like an experience, it feels very, almost, just the way everything feels the minute you put this on and you press play, or the minute you put on the record to hear the first song. It's just mesmerizing, it's lush, it's beautiful, it's crushing, it's heavy, it's nasty, it's brilliant sounding stuff. And I seriously think Irkallian Oracle have stepped their game up big time with Apollyon. Musically, just like the first album, there is a boatload of amazing instrumentation to be found on here from a riff sort of standpoint. The riffs are something that bring out the best in what Apollyon has to offer. I mean, you hear it especially on songs like Conjuring the Expulsed and Elemental Crucifixion. Just the brilliant moments of those songs are very well highlighted here. I love the guitar playing being done here. There's an almost brewing intensity that just comes the minute you hear these guitars. They just sound so wonderful, wondrous, so dissonant, so powerful. It's almost hard to grasp at first, but once you really let it sink in, you'll appreciate what kind of musical offerings a band like this has to offer. And I think the guitar playing on this album is just immaculate sounding. There's a very good bottom end tone going on when it comes to the bass as well. I think it's a very well mixed bass tone, but I think the guitar playing gets the major brunt of the highlighting going on here. I think these guitar riffs are incredible, but I think it settles itself back enough to let the bass have a good few moments going on here and there. One of my favorite things about Apollyon is the drum performance here. The drums stand out and have more action and activity than ever before than what was on Grave Ecstasis. The drumming on here is sensational. I love how there's so much busyness going on with this drumming here. I love the way the drums handle themselves here. I love the snare tone. I love the hi-hat sounds. I love the fills. I love the blast beats. There's just a lot of activity going on here with this drum performance, and I think it's sensational. The fast moments shine very well here. The mid-pace to slower moments excel very nicely, and just the amount of stamina and fortitude being done by this drum performance is sensational, especially when it comes to the lengthier songs of this record, like Elemental Crucifixion and the closing track of this record, At the Graveyard of Gods, which is what takes up pretty much a good 15 to 20% of this album, because it's an almost 20-minute long song. And I think the intensity of the drumming on that song is just wondrous to listen to. Just a lot of, you just follow along with what this drummer does, and it brings out a very sensational sort of performance. And moving on to the vocals, if you're familiar with the vocal performance of the last Irkallian Oracle record, you're going to feel right at home here with this vocal performance. There's just a certain uniqueness and charismatic vibe going on here with this vocalist. He has a very low sounding voice, but you can understand what he's talking about. You can understand the sort of demoniacal sort of activities coming from this vocalist's mouth. It's just sensational to hear, and to hear him speak. Just to hear him do the vocal diversity that he does throughout this record is just awesome. Back to songs like Conjuring the Expulse, and even the track Soul, which if you look at the back of the record here, it's just one single O, whatever that means. I believe the song is actually called Soul, but the vocal performance on that track is just amazing. I just love his vocal delivery going on with that song. Just a lot of manicness going on, just a lot of evilness going on. It's just brilliant to listen to, and I really think that this singer, whomever the singer is in this band, really brings out something purely evil and purely magical with this vocal performance on Apollyon. I really am amazed and mesmerized by what's going on here. There is just so much to take in with a record like this. It's just amazing. This really does feel like an experience and a journey, and once you hit the very end of this record, you will want to repeat this all over again. I honestly believe it is that kind of an album. So overall, I think this tops Grave Ecstasis to me. I think the music is on point. I love the vocal deliveries. I love the soundscapes. I love the natural qualities of the music. I love the artwork and overall presentations that this band brings. This is a band that values bringing together a visual aspect that complements their sound, and Irkallian Oracle strike gold here with Apollyon, literal gold, and this will definitely see a spot in my top 5, let alone maybe my top 3 of 2016. This is definite album of the year material. We'll see how long this keeps up throughout the remainder of this year. So yeah, I love every single track that's on this record, but if I had to honestly pick a couple of songs, I would definitely recommend Conjuring the Expulsed and Elemental Crucifixion. Those are some of my favorite tracks to behold on this record. So I'm going to leave you some links in the description box to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will link you to the Nuclear War Now Bandcamp page where you can purchase it digitally. I don't think it is streaming, but you can definitely buy it digitally if buying digital is your thing. I will also link you to a couple of tracks. I believe there's a song on the Metal Vault YouTube channel that is currently uploaded for to be checked out. I want to say, I forget what song it is in particular, but I'll leave you a link to that particular song so you can have an idea of what's going on. And I will also leave you links to where you can buy physical copies. It is currently available as a CD with this slipcase, very similar to the first album. It came with a slipcase, black slipcase with gold, and there you see the artwork and the stuff on the back. And of course, like I showed in one of my videos past, it does come on a vinyl version, standard black vinyl, gold for the for the Die-Hard version. Of course, you get the flag, the sticker, and the embroidered bag. And there's also different color versions for assorted other distros. So, let me show you the album again. This is Apollyon by Irkallian Oracle. This is released on Nuclear War Now Productions. This is mandatory purchasing. And for a score, I'm going to give this the highest score I can possibly give, and that is a perfect 10 out of 10. This is definitely a masterpiece to me, and I will be giving this many, many more plays throughout the majority of this new year. So, if you've happened to have heard this album, let me know what you think about it and how you feel about it and how you think it compares to the previous Irkallian Oracle record. Or any of you guys into Irkallian Oracle, how do you feel about their sound, their visual style? Let's talk about it. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel, and until the next time, Army Hell out.